Welcome back to the Limitless Podcast. Today's episode is one I wish someone had given me a decade ago. It's real, it's raw, and it's rooted in something deeper than strategy or mindset. This is about soul work. This is actually for the woman who's tired of performing, pleasing, and pretending. This is for the one who knows she was born for more, but keeps hitting the same emotional walls. Let's talk about the subconscious truths that shape your relationships, your sense of worth, and the way that you are showing up in this world. So, like I said, I wish I would have known this a decade ago. Obviously, we're all on our own healing journey, but I want you to know that healing is not a luxury. Healing is not something that you do because you have a diagnosis. Healing is not something that you do because you feel depressed. Healing is actually returning to your truth. It took me healing my relationship with my mother, that which was the first relationship that I recognized that I was not free. And I've said multiple times that life will present itself with people, places, and circumstances that show us areas of our life where we are not free. And I was not free in my relationship with my mother. We had a lot of different trials. I had a lot of disappointments. I had a lot of rubs with my mother. And then the second relationship that I healed is walking away from a very toxic relationship in my life. And it also took me rebuilding and healing my marriage. And now I'm giving you what took me years of heartbreak. And I want to teach you that. So, on today's podcast, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to give you some tips of things to look for in your life when it comes to relationships. And if you are not driving, I would recommend that you grab a piece of paper and a pen and let's write these things down and look at them and say, okay, this is an area where I am not free and I really need to take a look at this. So, number one, a person who avoids feeling their own pain will always try and dismiss yours. This is what I've experienced in the relationships that I needed to heal. Have you ever opened your heart to someone only to feel shut down and minimized? It's not you, my friend. It's actually not you. It's their emotional disconnection. People who have not faced their own shadows, and shadows are the work that we need to do, the traumas that we need to heal, the belief systems that we're carrying around with us. Those people will always try to dim your light, not because they don't love you. It's because your depth, your possibilities exposes their numbness. And it also exposes areas where they are not free. This was me with my mom. And her silence used to wound me until I realized it was just her armor. And once I stopped taking it personally and recognizing, and truly, this was a high level thought process for me, truly realizing, yes, she did the best with what she received. And she didn't have the tools to actually do the work. She didn't have the tools. And so I stopped taking it personally and realized it was just her armor. If you're in a relationship where deep love feels unsafe, ask who taught you that love equals abandonment. Where did you experience that love meant abandonment? This was my relationship with my mother and my relationship with my father. I felt abandoned by both of them. My mother was emotional abandonment. My father was physical abandonment. And so I'm going to tell you that this probably did not start with your high school boyfriend that dropped you for another girl. It probably didn't start there. This started when the people that you trusted the most didn't see you, hear you, or stay. Does that ring a bell for you? If love has always felt like walking on eggshells or waiting for the other shoe to drop, that's not love. That's actually trauma. And it's time to separate the two. Okay? It's time to separate the two. This is an area that needs to be healed. If you're constantly walking on eggshells because you're afraid that your partner is going to abandon you, or you're afraid that your friendship is going to fail, or you're afraid that your business is not going to do well. Whatever that is, this is something telling you it's time to heal this. Number 3, if you crave validation from emotionally unavailable people, I can feel that in my body. Wait just a minute. I can feel that in my body. And I laugh at it because on the other side of the healing, there is so much freedom. I actually attracted so many people into my life that were emotionally unavailable. And it was because my nervous system still believed that love had to be earned. And this is a survival mechanism when we believe that we have to have that validation, and we continue to look for that validation for people who are not emotionally capable of giving that to us. And I want you to know that you were not meant to hustle for love. You are meant to receive it, my friend. And let me say that clearly. You don't have to perform to be chosen. Does that hit home? Definitely was my MO. Definitely was my MO. I needed to perform to be chosen. And there came a point in my life where I'm like, you know what? I'm no longer performing. I'm no longer going to follow the rules that you are telling me that I need to follow in order to be accepted. I'm out. I'm out. Regardless of the consequences, I am no longer performing to be chosen. I choose me was the most powerful thing I've ever done in my life. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You get to rewire the part of you that learned otherwise. Number 4, if they never ask you deeper questions, they're not trying to see you. They're not trying to see you. They're just waiting for their turn to perform. We live in a world full of this performative connection, but real intimacy requires curiosity. Intimacy requires curiosity. Let me give you a tip here. When I'm having a conversation and I'm meeting new people, or if I'm having a conversation with a friend or a partner or a child or whoever it is, relationship is both giving and receiving. And there have been so many times where I am on the giving end of the spectrum. I'm constantly asking people about themselves because I'm curious. And you know what someone is about when they never ask you the same. They're not capable. They're just not capable. So you need to ask yourself, if I'm the one that's continuing to give in this relationship and not receiving, is this worth my energy? Is it worth my time? Because someone who values you won't let the conversation stay surface. They'll want to know what breaks your heart and what lights your soul on fire. Those are my people. Those are truly my people. I am not available for surface level conversations, for deep intimacy. I'm available for those who want to know what breaks my heart and to really understand what lights me up. Number 5, if you're asking for what you need, feels like too much for you, that is actually your little girl, the inner child within you who's still terrified of being abandoned for having needs, This shows up as, I'm fine. I'm fine. I've talked about this before, when you're actually not. This shows up as overgiving, as swallowing your truth, not speaking your words. But it's not too much. You're not too much. Let's heal the part of you that learned that love equals sacrificing yourself, sacrificing your needs, not using your voice, being afraid to speak up. Number 6, time won't heal what your subconscious continues to loop. I want you to understand this. We will continue to attract the same people, the same circumstances, the same relationships because our subconscious mind has not been healed. It's a continuous loop. Why am I always attracting these people that make me feel, quote, this way? Why am I always in a relationship where I am the one constantly giving? It's the subconscious loop. It's your subconscious playing this out, attracting the people in your life until you actually heal that subconscious story. Fascinating. So fascinating. I want you to think about how many years have passed and it still freaking hurts. How many years? That's because the subconscious doesn't run on clocks, it runs on stories. So time does not heal, my friend. What heals is dealing with the stories, dealing with the stories. And if you haven't updated the story, if your nervous system is still living in the moment you were hurt, it keeps going, it keeps repeating. And I'm going to tell you the number of times you voice it out loud and you talk about that situation to other people, all it does is re-energize the emotion. It re-energizes it. And so talking about it over and over and over keeps it active in your body. You actually have to release the story so that it'll stop repeating. And that is reprogramming. Reprogramming isn't trendy, it's actually necessary. So we have to go deeper. Don't wait. Time does not heal the stories. Number 7, your nervous system will always whisper the truth first. If you're listening, before your mind actually rationalizes or talks you out of your knowing, your body actually knows. The racing heart, the dry mouth, the gut tension, the inability to process your foods in the right way. Those are actually your guides. Your body is telling you something. Listen, trust it. They're not being dramatic. Your body's being honest with you. Your body's being honest with you. And when I actually learn to listen to my body and feel into a situation, my body's always right. When I feel tension in my midsection, this situation is not right for me. When my heart starts to hurt, this situation is not right for me. This is a hell no. And so listen to your body. Number 8, you get to rewrite your story as many times as it takes, not just once, not just when it's convenient. You get to start over every single time you realize the life you're living no longer reflects who you truly are. I can't tell you how invaluable that is, what I just said. I want you to understand that. When the life you're living no longer reflects who you truly are, you get to rewrite your story. You get to rewrite your story. You were born into power. Born into power. God says you are limitless. There are limitless possibilities for you in this world. You are born into power. Unfortunately, we will also born into limitation. Some of those limitations were passed on from our ancestors, and we carry those, and we're here to heal them. Have you heard of ancestral healing? That's exactly what you're doing. Those patterns that have been on repeat are in your DNA, and you're the one that's here to heal them. You are the one. God gave you the power. It's called your divinity. And the divinity is the ability for you to transcend your limitations. But you don't recognize it because you've never been taught any of this. But you were born into power. But somewhere along the way, you were taught to forget it, to trade your intuition for approval, your softness for survival, your truth for someone else's comfort. But here's the truth. You were created to come back to power by uncovering the truth of who you are. The truth of who you are. Powerful, limitless, absolutely limitless, free of the constraints that hold you back. And that truth, my friend, is not the outer world. It lives in your subconscious, and you hold the key to rewire it. You hold the key. Healing doesn't just change your life. It changes your legacy. It changes your legacy. That is my soul's work, is to bring you back to the divinity of who you are and help you transcend those limitations that do not belong to you, that were handed down to you, and some that you have accumulated in this lifetime. That is my soul's purpose. Until next time, Remember, you are seen, you are powerful, and your story is still being written. I love you. God bless you. See you next week.